You ever hang up the phone and think, why is everyone so exhausting? Or maybe you have a new job or get a new boss, but you realize you still have the same headaches. Here's the thing. A Harvard study found that 95% of people think that they're self-aware, but only about 10 to 15% actually are. That's an 80-point gap. So if your life feels like a never-ending parade of clueless people, take a look in the mirror. Odds are one of them might be looking right back at you. Stick around. I'll give you 5 signs that you might actually be the problem and simple ways to flip the script. So let's get this straight. You weren't born this way. None of us were. These patterns are habits shaped by your life experiences. Over time, they've become automatic, so fast you don't even notice. That's what we call your B game. It's reactive, it's protective, and it runs on autopilot. And to make it harder, these patterns are mostly unconscious, making them tough to notice and even tougher to change. But you can learn to shift into your A game, your best thinking, used on purpose. And when you do, the whole picture changes. Sign number 1, you always think you're right. Imagine this. You leave every meeting convinced you were the lone voice of reason. Somebody makes a suggestion, and before they even finish the sentence, you jump in with your smarter, more logical solution. Sure, you win the argument, but you may lose the relationship. That's usually a B game reflex. It's about protecting your sense of control, not about creating value. But when you pause, listen, and respond with curiosity, that's your A game showing up. Here's a quick test. Can you repeat word for word the last thing they said? If not, you weren't listening, or you were just preparing your next point. Try the 2-sentence rule. Repeat their point out loud and then ask a curious follow-up question. It's amazing how much sharper you'll sound and how much more people want you on their team. Sign 2. You refuse responsibility. Your reflex is, not my fault. The report's late. You rattle off a list of reasons, otherwise known as excuses. You might even throw a colleague under the bus to cover yourself. Blame may feel like armor protecting you, but it's really a straitjacket. Nothing can change if you never accept your part in the problem. Try this. Before you blame anyone else, give yourself 24 hours to consider 3 ways you contributed, even if it was only minor. Then say those out loud, modeling responsibility. You might be surprised. The whole room exhales and collaboration starts to flow. Responsibility is an A game move. Blame is a B game habit. One builds trust, the other builds walls. If any of this stings, good. That sting is data. It's your brain telling you where you need to grow. Hit subscribe, because the only person you can truly change is yourself. 3rd sign, you're chronically critical. You're a nonstop critic, a pessimist, a negative Nelly. By 8 a.m., you've snapped at your partner about the way they load the dishwasher. By lunch, you've made it clear the team's presentation is a confusing mess. And on your drive home, you're silently cursing every slow driver on the road. The chronic criticism? That's your judgmental, perfectionistic, unrealistic B game running the show. You may justify yourself by calling it high standards. The truth is, criticism usually says more about what's going on inside you than what's happening around you. Here's the tweak. Shift to your A game. Focus on what creates the most value. Determine what really matters from what doesn't. Honestly, how the dishwasher gets loaded usually doesn't matter. Reframe that thought with something positive. Say to your partner, I really appreciate when you load the dishwasher. Or just think to yourself, I'm lucky to have a partner who shares the chores. When it comes to your own self-talk, instead of griping about slow traffic, try, this gives me more time to catch up on my favorite podcasts and for things that do matter. Instead of these slides are a mess, say, could we try 1 headline per slide so the message is crystal clear? Your standards stay high, but the resistance to your suggestions goes way down. Fourth sign, you dodge conflict or you go silent. When tension shows up, you disappear. You mutter, I'm fine. You hope it dissolves. But 3 weeks later, you explode because someone didn't replace a roll of toilet paper. Silence feels peaceful, but it's just delayed conflict. It's like covering a crack in a dam with poster putty. The pressure builds until the whole thing bursts. Researcher John Gottman calls this stonewalling, and it's one of the top predictors of breakups and interpersonal conflict. So use the 5-minute rule. Raise the issue within 5 minutes of noticing it. No blame. Hey, I noticed we left that meeting with different assumptions. Can we sync up? The discomfort lasts a few minutes. Resentment never takes root. Stonewalling is pure B game. It feels protective in the moment, but it erodes trust. A-game leaders lean into discomfort because they know that on the other side of discomfort is connection. Okay, last one. You get defensive the moment you feel challenged. Someone offers you feedback, you explain why they're wrong. Your partner reminds you of something you forgot, and you snap. I said I'd do it later. A friend says, hey, you were late. And you launch into traffic, meetings, and bad luck. Defensiveness is pure B game. It's your brain protecting your ego, not protecting the relationship. But here's the problem. It shuts down trust. If people know they'll always get pushback when they speak up, eventually they stop speaking. The shift? Pause before you react. Even if your brain is screaming, that's not fair. Try saying, can you tell me more about that? Curiosity signals A game. It shows you care more about learning than about looking good. And it's amazing how quickly conversations change when you stop defending and start listening. So let's tally. Always right, allergic to blame, hypercritical, conflict avoidant, defensive. If 2 or more ring the bell, congratulations. You've just found the easiest person you can change. These 5 signs aren't character flaws, they're just B game habits you picked up along the way. And like any habit, they can be shifted. That's what self-leadership is all about. It's using your best thinking, your A game, on purpose. So think of these B game habits as doorways to opportunity. Pick one sign and tell me in the comments which one you're tackling. And then try a 7-day mini experiment. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And if you got value from this, share it with that friend who blames the full moon for everything. They'll thank you once the stars realign. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.